call the El Reno Airport Authority regular meeting session Tuesday, May 14th, 2019. Roll call will start with Ms. Ryder.
Here. Trustee White.
Here.
Trustee Cronster. Chairman Robinson. Vice Chairman Ballhorn.
Here. Consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Airport Authority and will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Item number 1, approval of minutes of the April 9th, 2019 regular meeting of the El Reno Airport Authority.
I make a motion we approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Vote will start with Ms. Ryder.
Yes. Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Cronster. Chairman Robinson. Vice Chairman Ballhorn.
Yes. Discussion items. Number 2, discussion item, discussion, consideration, and possible action to move forward with Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission and request the project listed below be considered for inclusion in the Commission's fiscal year FY 2020-2024 Airport Construction Program for FY 2022. The city understands its funding share of the total eligible project cost will be 5%.
Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, I'd like to pull this item. I don't think we've got everything together for you to do this at that point in time. I'd like to go ahead and pull this and bring that back either at the special meeting we have or the next meeting, the regular meeting we have. When we get all the information, I think we're waiting on some things that will satisfy Mr. Reinhardt and also the city.
Okay.
Make a motion to pull?
No need.
Okay.
Don't need to. Number 3, discussion, consideration, and possible action to move forward with entering into a lease with Aerovets Aviation LLC and Avionics Installation and Service Shop. What is that about?
Well, Mr. Chairman, this is pretty exciting news. Mr. Sandage and Mr. Frazier and Mr. Kim have all been working with this group of people from the avionics group, Aerovets. They're going to lease some of our airport out there, just office space out there. We're going to have avionics at El Reno, Oklahoma. They're currently at Wiley Post right now, and they want to get away from the hustle and bustle and come out here and make some good money out here with some boys. So we're excited about having an avionics shop out here at El Reno. I know the whole airport community out there is excited about the gentleman coming out. And it just goes to show that I think, and these boys will tell you, Ben will tell you, I guess, that people are looking out here at El Reno, I think now, some of these other places from Wiley Post to Cimarron and everything else to come out here and set up shop. So we're excited about that being so close to Oklahoma City. It's just as easy to come out here and set up shop. So it's going to be a real big plus for our airport in order to have electronics, a shop out here available to not only us, but people that were used to going to Wiley Post will now come over here. Is that right, gentlemen? You're glad to be here in El Reno, Oklahoma?
Absolutely.
It's be a good deal for them, a good deal for us. So I make a motion that we absolutely consider approving the lease with Aerovets and move forward with the agreement for them to rent space out there for us.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Vote will start with Ms. Ryder.
Yes. Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Cronster. Chairman Robinson. Vice Chairman Ballhorn.
Yes. Adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good.
Call the Recreational Authority regular meeting to session. We'll start with Ms. Ryder.
Here. Trustee White.
Yes.
Trustee Cronster. Trustee Robinson. Chairman Ballhorn.
Yes. Consent agenda. The following items are considered to be routine by the El Reno Recreational Authority and will be enacted with one motion. Should discussion or be desired on any item, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. Number 1, approval of minutes of the April 9th, 2019 regular meeting of the El Reno Recreational Authority. Number 2, approval of minutes of the April 16th, 2019 special meeting of the El Reno Recreational Authority. Number 3, to acknowledge donation received by the Recreational Authority, DBA Crimson Creek Golf Course from professional women of El Reno in the amount of $500. Number 4, to approve Legion and Burton Park Pavilion rental fees as set by rental agreement. Number 5 is approval of claims requiring trustee authorization for the period beginning April 1st and ending April 30th, 2019.
If no questions, I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve 1 through 5.
I second.
I have a motion and a second. Vote will start with Ms. Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson, trustee White,
Yes.
trustee Cronster, chairman Ballhorn,
Yes. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
All in favor?
All right. It's now 5:36, call the El Reno Hospital Authority regular meeting, Tuesday, May the 14th, to order. We'll start with roll call with trustee Ballhorn.
Here.
vice chairman Cronster, trustee Robinson, trustee Ryder, here, chairman White.
Yes. We'll go on to consent agenda. The following item be considered routine by the El Reno Hospital Authority and be acted one motion. Should the discussion be on that item be desired, that item be removed from consent agenda at that time and considered separately. Number 1, approval of minutes of the April 9th, 2019 regular meeting of the El Reno City of El Reno Hospital Authority. Number 2, approval of minutes of the April 22nd, 2019 special joint meeting of the City of El Reno Hospital Authority and the City of El Reno City Council.
Motion approved.
I got a motion approval of 1 and 2.
Second.
Got a second roll call. Let's start with trustee Ryder.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson, trustee Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice chairman Cronster, chairman White.
Yes. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I got a motion. Got a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned. It's now 5:37. I call the El Reno Municipal Authority regular meeting of Tuesday, May the 14th, 2014 to order. We'll start with roll call. Roll call start with trustee Ryder.
Here.
Trustee Robinson, trustee Ballhorn,
Here.
vice chairman Cronster, chairman White.
Yes. We'll move on to new business deletions, continues to agenda time. Are there any? If not, we'll go on to consent agenda. Number D, or item, letter D, consent agenda. The final item to be considered with routine by the El Reno Municipal Authority and be enacted one motion. Should discussion be desired on that item will be removed from consent agenda, considered separately. Number 1, approval of minutes of the April 9th, 2019 regular meeting of the El Reno Municipal Authority. Number 2, approval of minutes of the April 16th, 2019 special meeting of the El Reno Municipal Authority. Number 3, approval of change order for the library furniture for the amount not to exceed $5,000. And number 4, approval of claims requiring trustee authorization for the period beginning April the 1st, 2019, ending April the 30th, 2019. Would anybody like to pull any of those items off? If not, do I have a motion to approve 1 through 4?
Make a motion to approve.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion second. Roll call vote start with Ballhorn.
Yes.
Trustee Robinson, trustee Ryder,
Yes.
vice chairman Cronster, chairman White.
Yes. Move on to E, discussion items. Number 5, discussion, consideration, possible action to approve 1936, a resolution of El Reno Municipal Authority, the authority accepting responsibilities and designated the authority of the City of El Reno, the city, pursuant to Crossroads Point Economic Development Project adopted plan, city approving and authorizing execution amendment and escalating the economic development agreement by the amendment authority and the city and the Crossroads Point LLC ratifying, confirming the security agreement, and believing in between the authority and the city pertaining to the tax increment financing, the TIF, approving the use of assistance in the development financing containing other provisions related to their accord. I'd like to pull this at this time, if we can. Crossroads Point, we're trying to get everything together. We are going to have this on the special company that we're going to have with the budget. We're just trying to get all the TIF together. We didn't have the total design, and I felt like the council, Mr. Frazier and I both felt like the council needed to see the complete design of where that was. And I want to make sure, Roger, that we have all the stuff from Steve Fox on the meets and bounds and the exact location. so we can go ahead and go forward and give Mr. Miller that for the healthplex. So we need to make sure all that's in line before I'd like to do that before we approve. I talked to Ron Ward today, he totally agreed, so I'd like to pull that time unless you all have any objections. They agreed to. So I do want to hear that, we do need to do that on the next, we're trying to get that, we need to get that deal done. So, okay. F, motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I got a motion by Ballhorn,
Second.
second by Roder. All in favor, say aye. Adjourn. It's now 5:40. I now call the El Reno City Council regular meeting of Tuesday, May 14th, 2019 to order. Roll call start with Councilman Ballhorn.
Here.
Vice Mayor Cronster, Councilman Robinson, Councilwoman Ryder, here, Mayor White.
Here. Paul, are you here? We're glad to have you.
I'm not here.
I see you back there.
I'm a figment of your
Yeah,
imagination.
Chief, you see him back there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I do, all right. Paul, would you mind coming up here and leading us in the word of the Lord? Please stand.
And welcome to Mr. Frazier to El Reno. Good to have you here. Amen. Let's all bow our heads. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we first of all want to praise you and thank you, Father, for all the blessings that you have given us, Father, that you've bestowed upon us. Father, we thank you for the gift of your Son, Jesus, who gave his life for us, Father, that we might have life. Father, I thank you for this council of men and women and the service that they give our community, the people in this community. And Father, you give them wisdom. And Father, you give them revelation, Father, of all the decisions that they're making. And Father, that they make wise ones and good ones. Thank you for the city we live in and its community here, Father, and the love we share, the service that is here, the helping hands that are here, Father. And I thank you, Father, that we are able to serve our community and help our people, Father, in better ways. In Jesus' name, amen.
Join me in the flag salute, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Hey, Paul, tell us what's going on around town and you guys and your church and blessing baskets. We're just
We're
right
still
when you
going
get
on.
done, and we're going to get started again. We got a big deal in July coming up. Is that right?
Yeah, we got that Christmas tree thing. You did a wonderful job.
Tell everybody else
Last
that.
year.
I don't believe you.
Well, we have Christmas in July, and where we auction off Christmas trees and
have a lot of
cakes
fun,
and
don't we?
things. Had a lot of fun, And we're
Well,
getting ready to do another
I
one.
make Tracy spend money. She doesn't spend money. She's pretty
Okay,
tired. So.
all right.
We had a
And
great time, and we raised a lot. You guys do a great job. We cannot. Blessing baskets is such a blessing for
Yeah.
this community. Just what
we
a
have our
wonderful-
summer feeding program coming up just real soon here, about 2 times each month. So the kids get
peanut butter.
food. Well, okay, they get
Yeah,
a
but y'all
whole.
been collecting peanut butter the last.
Yeah, they get a whole shopping cart full of food. So many kids don't have any food at home for summer.
Right.
And then we have our back to school program and then our Christmas program. So got everything going.
Well, Paul, we appreciate you. How's the church doing?
We're doing good.
Right.
We're real good.
Looks
Getting
great.
ready for youth camp.
Yeah, good.
All right.
Paul, thanks for everything you and Samantha do. All right, we'll move on to C. Thank you, Bob. New business deletions, continues to the agenda of time. Are there any? If not, we'll go to D. Consent agenda. All item be considered routine by the El Reno City Council and be acted with one motion. Should that discussion be desired on that item be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. City manager recommends with one motion we approve. Number one, approval of minutes of the April 9, 2019 regular meeting of El Reno City Council. 2, approval of minutes of the April 16, 2019 special meeting of El Reno. Number 3, approval of minutes of the April 26, 2019 special joint meeting of the El Reno City Council and City El Reno Hospital Authority. Number 4, to appoint Cammie Brookshire, Human Resources Director, as authorized agent for the City of El Reno's Oklahoma Municipal Authority, Standard Life, Southwestern Life, Jackson Life, Retirement Fund Plans, OKMRF, AXA, 457 Plan, Health Smart, Department of Corrections, Public Works Program, and the Public Works Release Program, American Fidelity, Insurica, and or any other additional health benefits plans, and approve, and the mayor will absolutely sign all documents associated thereto to give her the power. Number 5, to approve the Allegiant Park per authority and Burton Park pavilion rentals set by the rental agreement. Number 6, approval of change order for library furniture in the amount not to exceed $5,000. Number 7, to acknowledge donation received from the El Reno Fire Department from Professional Women's of El Reno for $500 in the amount of $500. To acknowledge a donation from Margaret Thompson, a member retired Chief Ray Ludlow, in the amount of $200 for the El Reno Fire Department. To acknowledge a donation from the anonymous donor for a new television valued at $450 for the Carnegie Library. Number 10, approval of fiscal year 2019 compilation audit engaged letter for the fiscal year 2019 single audit engagement letter with Aldridge and Associates. Number 11, approval of budget amendments for the fiscal year 2018-19 ending June 30th, 2019. And number 12, approval of claims requiring council authorization for the period beginning April the 1st, 2019 and ending April 30th, 2019. Would anybody like to pull any of those items off at this time? If not, do I have a motion for approval of all those items?
Make a motion, we approve 1 through 12.
I have a motion, we have approved 1 through 12. Do I have a second? Second? Well, I second. I'll help you a little bit too. I'll second, all right. Motion start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Ball.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster. Mayor White.
Yes. All right, we're going to E, audience participation. Anyone have an item of business to present to the city of El Reno that does not appear on the agenda, please come to the podium this time, state your name, your request to limit your presentation to 3 minutes. Any item being presented must pertain to the city of El Reno business. Anyone like to come up here and speak? Anyone? Anyone? Viewer? Viewer? All right, we'll move on. F, discussion items. Number 13, I'd like to pull per the authority. Move on to 14. Discussion, consideration, possible action to accept the final plat of Rock Point Edition in the city of El Reno. Okay, basically, Dustin, this was brought before the planning commission. It passed 100%.
Yes.
This is the duplexes that are basically off Shepherd between Kavanaugh and Ash.
That's correct.
We were waiting on a cashier's check today. We were to satisfy Mr. Reinhardt and Mr. Sandage and Mr. Frazier, but you received all that. Everything's paperwork's in order, and we're ready to go. Is that correct?
It's a letter of credit. Letter of credit.
That meets your standards that you all want.
Yes.
that
To satisfy
right?
the need for this sanitary sewer, yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Okay. All right. So we're good to go on that. There's no problems, Dustin, or anything else. All the water issues were all addressed. Everything else we were concerned with.
Everything meets per the same requirements as the preliminary plat, the PUD, and everything matches.
And basically, we passed the preliminary plat. We're at the final stages. We're going to make sure the paperwork's in order. It is in order. All right. I make the motion we approve at
Second.
this point in time. I got a second by Ryder. We'll start roll call with Ball.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster. Councilman Robinson. Councilwoman Ryder. Mayor White.
Yes. All right, we'll move on to 15. Discussion, consideration, possible action to accept the final plat of Settlers Crossing Phase 2 addition in the city of El Reno. Phil, you're starting Phase 2. This is the Roush Cove deal. This is the other deal. Basically, Dustin, this went to planning commission. You have pictures up here.
Yeah.
This is the next phase. You guys are selling. They're selling all the houses out
Yeah,
there.
they're on the lots right now.
They're out of lots. Wow. When I get done here, Ray, I'll give my little promo here. This is something, Roger, we've been waiting for a long time. We're doing all these final plats. They're building houses here in El Reno, Oklahoma. This is great. Phil, you're getting everything done. We had a little issue with the road that you all agreed with, and Steve. No, this is Settlers Crossing. I got you. We'll go to the next one. Everything's good to go on this one. No problems at all, Dustin. We're ready to roll, ready to go,
Yep,
ready to move on. Is that right?
that's correct.
And you guys are ready to start building houses.
You'll start seeing phase 3 in the next 2 months.
Okay. This went before the planning commission.
Did,
No problems.
correct,
Okay. Some questions, but not very much, and all answered. We're ready to go.
ready to go.
Okay. Make a motion we approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second by Ballhorn. Roll call start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson. Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster. Mayor White.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to 16. Discussion, consideration, possible action, final plat of Crimson Lake Estates Phase 1 addition, City of El Reno. Okay, Phil, this is the development out by the RV park. You guys are ready to get going on that. You guys are going to build 50-something houses right off the bat. Is that correct?
Correct.
So they're ready to go on that. We are waiting on some, because of the roadways, we're waiting on the Lake Road to go out behind the water tower. Phil and Steve have done their due diligence. There were some problems because of the rain and what it was done. They are going to replace there's some soft spots there. We didn't accept it. They didn't want us to. You're getting your contractor back out there. Everybody's in agreement to it. You all put a fat cashier's check up. Is that right?
It's a CD.
CD up based on that to cover all that, to make sure that we can get that deal done. And then the city of El Reno is going to start our job as soon as the contractor get in because of the water. Is that right? And they're going to do that so they can have access out of there to do that roundabout where the turn is. Is that correct?
Yeah, it'll be the same contractor we're using, so.
Sure.
They'll do the city road and then finish up the water tower road on the way.
Sure, but you want to go ahead and get going, so you can go ahead and start on the lots to go ahead and get everything going. So we have the bonds in order to help you, or the CD, I guess, to hold, to make sure that we can get that work done.
And the CD covers the secondary egress as well.
Yeah, and I think, Tracy, there I saw on your Facebook, sneaking around stalking you, there were some questions, because there's someone tagging me, about access. Basically, that would cover all the access in doing that. Okay.
I have a question. What's the difference in size between the lots of Crimson Lake and on Settlers Crossing?
Crimson Lake they're 60 by 120. Settlers are 50 by 120.
60 or 50 by 120?
Is that correct?
And the Crimson Lake Estates typical lot is, when you got 3 of them here at one time, you get the wrong one.
They must be 50.
50 by 120 is what?
No,
50 by 120 is a typical lot in Crimson Lake Estates. Some of them are a little bit longer.
Yeah, this particular
And
builder,
then
The Settlers Crossing?
Settlers Crossing is
50 by-
55 by 121 and a half. So they're actually slightly larger in Settlers Crossing.
yeah, the homes they'll start at just over 200 up at Crimson Lake, so it'll be they do a lot of 2 stories. It's a national builder that's going to be out there. So
it's a national builder, and who is it, Phil? We need to tell
it's
them.
LGI.
Okay, LGI, right, and what they'll do is they'll do a 2-story plan, is what they'll do, they'll get a small lot, but now, this particular, what they're doing here, it'll all be brick, it'll all be covered.
Yeah, they have a very unusual program where they go in and they build like 30 houses at one time. They will not sell a single house till all 30 are built. And then they have a sales campaign where they do kind of like a land run where you have to be pre-qualified to even look at their houses. And they line people up in the street and drop a string and people to run and grab the tags off works for them, I guess. But yeah, which is kind of nice because people move in and there's no other construction around once they move in. It's going to be chaos for several months out there. I mean, you won't see, there's be hundreds of tradesmen out there at one time.
But the thing is, it's one of those things, don't forget, so that land was not even on the radar for development. And so we're excited about it. And I think the way LGI, is that right? The way they're excited about it is that, they're gonna be able to provide a home there that's right there with a playground, the lake, and golf course and everything else.
The houses out there, yes. You drive out and you got a view of the lake as you're driving out. It's
gonna be
beautiful.
really nice.
I've been driving around those roads, watching the development.
It's gonna be nice.
Yeah,
It's going to be kind of tucked back in there. It's going to be a unique community.
And what all that will do, if you look at that area from an aerial, that'll all start flowing together and piece together with all the other development land that we have up there. Okay, thanks. Any other questions?
So just to refresh my memory, the curve there that goes across the lagoon and stuff,
Yes, that's all.
that's gonna be widened?
That's gonna be us.
raised,
Yes,
and
yes.
We're gonna have a turn lane for them?
It's gonna be not a turn lane, but it's gonna be widened out. There'll be a stop sign on there'll be a 3-way stop, basically. You'll be stopping when you come this way, you'll be stopping when you come that way, you'll be stopping when you come this way.
Right.
Be an intersection. We're bringing that's the only part of the whole development that was in the floodplain, so we're bringing that out of the floodplain level, and it was barely in there by inches. I mean,
6 or 7 inches.
so what we're doing is we're raising that hole up, and then, if you notice, Ken, we've talked about over the years, we've only had a couple of tin horns in there. We're making those wider, longer, and bigger to allow more access. And if you notice, we've done that little lake access road. They kind of been driving around and they cut half their tire goes on the part off anyway. So we're widening all that out. And then we're paying for that.
Putting extra large shoulders on it for
That's
sidewalks.
extra large shoulder on our side, yes.
Okay, so when this development is finished, approximately how many homes will be in there?
I believe total build-out is 200.
193?
I was gonna say, I thought it was 187, but okay.
Okay.
You can
so-
figure 3.5 people per home, so it's,
Right,
yeah.
so.
700 people.
1.75 cars per house, approximately.
Yep.
Okay, so what about the street on Elm from Country Club up to, has there been any kind of traffic study about what will need to be done, possibly for that road?
Sure. At some point in time, don't forget there's more development if the Gibsons ever develop their end or whatever else, and we have a sewer line that connects all this to that. That's actually the deal. At some point in time, you know, I saw on your Facebook where the lady lives there, it said it's a lake access road. No, Elm Street is absolutely a main artery to our community. Now, that particular road was lake access. We did overlay that with an lake access grant, I want to say 10 years ago, that we got. Does anybody remember that? Ken, you remember that? Kent?
I was still here.
Well, I was here. I did it. I mean, because I went ahead and had them do the circle, if you remember correctly. Remember? So we did that. We've overlaid that. We have not designed that for a main artery. So at some point in time, we're going to have to widen that out, probably shoulder that and everything else. But that's not on our, until all this is built out and
Right.
until everything else is going, until the need arises.
Just so it's on our radar.
It's been on our radar a long time, but until the built out's done, there's really no sense in doing it. So, but if you notice their road that we've done, the standards we're going to make them do, you know.
Yeah, we built that
We may
road.
have access on the backside of the water tower, so they wouldn't take our chip and seal road to do it. So basically, they're on city streets that will all be dedicated all the way to their development, and they will not go around our city view of our lake. Does that make sense? There'll be one stretch in there where the neck is, like Mr. Ballhorn described, where they'll be on our property. But we're improving that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bringing up to the new standards for fire trucks, Kent, and also for flowable water, right?
Yeah, when it's done, the water, even the 100-year storm will not go over the top of that road.
So is there any thought or talk about maybe a back entrance coming through from over around Country Club area?
Well, once again, I think not for them, but I think at some point in time, there's developable land on the back side of that has to be sold, the side that to be sold, but all that does fit into a plan if certain people either A, develop it, or B, sell it.
Yeah,
Is that right?
we provided a stub street into the Gibson's property. They have a pretty high price on that property. I don't think it's going to develop anytime soon, but eventually that'll all connect.
Right.
And eventually, once they get done with theirs, the Gibsons, at some point in time, I mean, they'll want to, maybe not them, but whoever, they'll want to develop that because it's going to be all set for development all the way around it. Then all they got to do is tie on to the streets and the lines that are already currently there.
Correct.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be set there for, it's not going to be set there for commercial. It's not going to be, I wouldn't think the best highest use would be farming. So the best highest use would be at some point in time, residential. Is that correct, Mr. Frazier?
Oh, yeah.
Because everything around there is going to be set up for residential area.
And we're providing a stub street to the north and a stub street to the west, so
So
there'll
they'll
be
be able to-
cross connectivity when it's done.
And they could tie into
when
that.
it's ready.
Yep.
Yeah, and they could tie onto all that, so you could have eventually access points all the way from Walmart area to there, all the way from Walmart to Elm Street at some point in time, or from Walmart all the way back to the RV park. I mean, eventually, you have to connect them, yes.
Right, okay.
All right, any other questions? All right, thank you, Phil.
Make a motion to approve?
You got a motion?
So, wait.
One word on the, we want to make sure that we accept the associated documents along with the final plat, associated documents being the secondary egress.
Secondary egress easement, yes. And what we did do, Kent and Phil, we had an easement, a secondary easement that we have a roadway where right now until we get it built out, you're gonna leave one lot deal where a fire truck can get out of there on the back side of that. Is that correct?
Yeah,
to the west.
There's a drainage way that goes north-south in the middle of our property, and so we are going to go ahead and put in the permanent drainage structure, cross to the west, and then take it, I think it's 600 feet west, and then
Has to be
Into the
far
RV
from
park.
the other entrance, is that right, Ken?
Yeah, there's a half the distance of the longest point across.
Right,
Don't make
whatever
it
the,
close out there.
whatever the calculation
Secondary
is.
egress has to be that we're trying to do that, the secondary planning for permanent without wasting too much of his money on temporary, but we've got to have the temporary after 30 houses are up. So,
but to meet fire code, and I think that's a fairly new requirement, we weren't aware of it, but yeah,
And that's,
we will meet it.
Yeah,
And then the wording in the easement also, after 6 years, if the phase 2 doesn't develop, it does state that the secondary egress would become.
We would build it to
permanent.
city standards,
Got
yeah.
the city standards.
Yeah,
To be
it-
That's-
permanent
we're committing to that.
Secondary
That's right.
egress.
that's right.
We're actually designing phase 2 right now, so we're pretty comfortable that's not gonna be a problem.
They're designing phase 2. All right, so I make a motion, we approve with all associated documents.
Correct.
There too that we need to have. Is that correct, Matt?
Yes.
Okay. I got a motion, second by Ballhorn, roll call vote, start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson, Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster, Mayor White.
Yes. Okay, we'll move on to 17, discussion of possible action to approve ordinance number 9195, a code amending code chapter 147, creating article 4, and the same being an ordinance of the city of El Reno relating to the creation of a business license program, repealing ordinance, send conflict, and providing severability and declaring emergency. Basically, Councilman Ballhorn has been, this is his baby, and we have tied this on. I think we think it's a great job. And Bob, I have to hand to you, you did a real good job with this. This has all been your thought process, and I'll let you explain it, but I kind of want to just kind of tell a little bit about it so we make sure we're on the same page. Councilman Ballhorn has been working on this for almost 8 months, trying to get this together. He just feels like there needs to be a business license, just so the city knows who's what, and we were kind of laughing about it. When Councilman Ballhorn's building got hit by a truck and destroyed, I had to call him at home and tell him that his truck called. And all joking aside, Ken will tell you, the police department calls me at least once or twice a month concerning who owns what, you know. But the businesses, we just need to know who, in case Chase builds his building, something happens to the bank, we don't know who to get a hold of. Councilman Ballhorn and I, we did not want to charge a lot of money. We're not after making a lot of money on this. We just want to cover costs. I think the main thing here is just basically trying to figure out, you know, what we need, you know, who we need to get a hold of and what we need to do in case something happens with an emergency or just who's out there or who's coming in business. We're having businesses pop up on several of these oil field deals that Ken had run into with the marshals that we were kind of worried about, Matt. You know, we didn't know what they were doing or what their intentions were. This will basically help us for future reference to help direct these people when they come to City Hall to tell them what zoning they need, what options they have to have. And then it helps us basically get a front door in case we need to know, well, who is that person? You know, welcome to El Reno, and we got your email address, we got your telephone number in case something happens to your business or something happens. So it's really a kind of a good deal.
So and it'll help Ken and them just to reach out to people if there's a break-in, burglar alarm going off, a fire. Ken will know how to get a hold of people. It'll just be, it's been needed for a while, especially with all the growing we're doing.
Unfortunately, the city clerk has reminded me that this may require a 4 out of 5 vote.
Okay.
On an emergency.
For the emergency
Well, we can
part,
go ahead and do the deal then without the emergency.
because it's still 30 days
Yeah,
either way.
I knew that. We can go ahead and do the, yeah.
And
Okay.
the idea is until July 1.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
Regardless,
Anyway, so
it's
then
plenty of
start with
time.
July 1. I was shocked, I was shocked it had emergency anyway. I wasn't going to do emergency.
And the proposal is to start July 1 and then give all of the existing businesses a 6-month grace period to go ahead and get registered for free for the first year, and then the next year would be
Correct.
a $25 fee. All of the food and restaurant type businesses, we already have their information, so they already pay a fee for inspection by us. But the other businesses, just your regular, retail stores, they may not have, or oil and gas, they don't come to City Hall to get registered, but
Correct.
they will with this ordinance.
Okay, any questions? It's a good idea. We're not going to charge for the first year. We're just trying to make it, we're trying to make it friendly. It's a $25 charge after that. Like I said, mainly that's just for paperwork on our end, to have someone be in charge of that and do the paperwork staff. The main thing is just to see, who's doing what around the neighborhood, so in case someone else asks or whatever else, it just lets us basically welcome our neighbors and know what's going on.
Well, that's great for anybody coming in.
Absolutely.
For people moving here or whatever, to know what's out there.
Sure. I think the main thing is more for us, in case, Tracy, like I said, in case something happens.
Right, right.
All right. You want to make a motion, Bob?
Make a motion to approve it.
And I wanted to commend you for all your hard work on this.
Thank you.
You did a great job. I'll second it. Got a motion, second, roll call vote, start with Tracy.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson, Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster, Mayor White.
Yes. All right, move on to 18. Discussion and consideration of possible action to accept easement along the west side of Lot 2, Block 1 of the Greens Country Club addition to the city of El Reno. Dustin, I guess I'm going to read these because Lot 18, 19, and 20 all go together, right?
Yes.
Okay, then 19, we'll vote on them separately. I'm just going to discuss them all, and then we kind of have. Number 19, discussion consideration possible action ordinance number 96, ordinance, City of El Reno, Oklahoma, closing and vacating a 15-foot wide utility easement within Lot 2, Block 1 of the Greens Country Club addition to the City of El Reno and declared an emergency. And, we can't do emergency on this one, either one. Nope. Boy, that really screwed us up, Chase. We can go ahead and you can go ahead and do it. And it's going to be action for 30 days. It'll be on you, it'll be on the contractor. And then number 20, discussion consideration possible action ordinance number 9197, ordinance the City of El Reno closing vacating 16 feet by 80 feet portion across access roadway utility easement of Lot 2, Block 1 of the Greens Country Club addition to the City of El Reno, declared emergency. Okay, Dustin. Basically, this was before Plan Commission. What had happened is Chase is here with the new Great Plains Bank, and they're wanting to start. They're wanting to get going. Dave's wanting to pour his driveway on the other side there. They decided to move their bank back a little bit to take advantage of the views a little bit, and we had to move that sewer line. And doing that, we kind of find that basically on the engineering, which was the developer, which was I'm part of that group, we had our engineer Steve Fox.
Correct.
The City of El Reno's engineer was Steve Fox.
Right.
And the
Great Plains Bank.
and the Great Plains Bank was Steve Fox. So we thought we had all this covered, but for some reason he drew a 50-foot easement in there. And the way they structured their building, Dustin, based on that roadway, they were going to have to some of that portion of the building was going to be on the easement. And normally in that development it wouldn't be that wide, especially with the dead end of the road going to their property. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So they had to basically clear it up, so it basically takes it from 50-foot easement to 34-foot easement, is that right?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
that's agenda item 20.
Yeah, I'm just-
Agenda items 18 and 19 are moving that sewer line easement against the west edge of the property.
And basically the sewer line easement was based on them moving their building
Right.
back in order to take advantage of their property. We put the sewer line in, it was fine for us at the time, it was fine for them. They decided to change their design, their bank.
That's correct.
So they moved the sewer line, it's all up to standards, it's all in, is that right? You're done with it, aren't you?
I'm not sure
I
if
think
they're,
he has put that one manhole in, I think.
they were working on a man. I think they may have held off to make sure
That this happens.
we didn't run into any issues.
Sure. But the main issue that caught you
The
was.
main issue was the easement. There's about, and we had a picture of it, it's 8 or 10 feet
Yeah,
that it comes in on the north side, and it goes the entire length of the bank, just through that 8 or 10 feet. Totally understand the cross-access easement covering from the north side of the road and through our road. We gotta have access to get to their properties. Fully understand, we just wanna move that easement line from where it currently is to the edge of the concrete. Will still allow enough room in the middle for our sidewalk off the north side of the building, not creating any issues there. We just wanna slide that out so that nothing is underneath the footing, nothing's underneath the building. There's no future issues. Nothing will ever come through there. It's
Right.
on the private lot. But it just, in order to make it 100% correct, this is what we need to do. So we've backed off the last 2 weeks and just, and pulled everybody off to make sure we get everything hammered down
in order to move forward.
Okay. Any other questions? Does that cover your deal, Dustin? You're dying to get up here, baby. It's a simple deal. With the planning commission, passed 100%, is that right?
5-0.
Okay. Any other? Huh?
No question, I was gonna make a motion.
Oh, go ahead.
I make a motion, we approve?
Okay, we got a motion we approve. Oh, let's see, 18. Let's do 18, then we'll do all of them. Yeah, okay. Number 18.
Second.
Got a motion by Ryder, second by Ballhorn. Roll call start with Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster, Councilman Robinson, Councilwoman Ryder.
Yes.
Mayor White.
Abstain. Motion carries. Going to 19. Discussion, consideration, possible action on ordinance number 9196.
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Got a motion, second. Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson, Councilman
Yep.
Ballhorn. Vice Mayor Cronster, Mayor White.
Abstain. Motion carries. Number 20. Discussion, consideration, possible action on ordinance number 9197.
Make a motion, we approve.
You got a motion? Tracy?
I second, not declaring emergency.
I didn't do either one. I'm the other one either. Okay, I got a motion, you say second? I got a motion and a second. Roll call vote start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson, Councilman Ballhorn. Vice Mayor Cronster, Mayor White.
Yes. Oh, abstain. Got me. Tracy, be quiet. Okay. Okay, that's it. Motion carries 2-1. So we're good to go. You didn't have a declared emergency, but now you have the action that happens in 30 days, so. Perfect. Be all on you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Chase.
Thank you, sir.
Number 21, discussion, consideration, possible action to approve resolution 1935, resolution city council declaring emergency, acknowledging use of the emergency disaster funds. Basically, we have a roadway that's washed out, that's off of Sunset. We are currently drawing plans up now. Mr. Frazier is very concerned with it. He drives his little Volkswagen across there every day. I was waiting for that black thing to disappear there, aren't you? Matt, we ought to get insurance on it, because I've seen him over there twice going out there and moving those cones. Anyway, all right, we need to get that deal going, and we won't have all the costs or anything else to you, but we have to declare this first to use those funds until it comes back in. Then when we get it back in, we'll bring it back to you. So I make a motion that we approve resolution 1935, the use of declaring emergency funds. I got a motion, second by Bob. Roll call start with you, Tracy.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson, Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster, Mayor White.
Yes. All right, number 22, discussion, consideration, possible action, to approve ordinance number 9198, ordinance of City Council, Reno, Oklahoma, adding section 343-78, designating records to be used when impounding vehicles, creating a record rotation system, and imposing requirements for providing record services. One requested by the City of El Reno, repealing ordinances in conflict, providing for severability, and declaring emergency.
Make a motion.
Okay, I got a motion. Tracy? Or I'll say it. Go ahead. So I'll say it. All right, I got a motion and a second. Roll call, let's start with Baldwin.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson, Vice Mayor Cronster, Councilwoman Ryder.
Abstain.
Mayor White.
Yes, motion carries.
I make a motion, we declare an emergency.
We can't.
Can't.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
We'll go on 23, discussion, consideration, possible action, move forward with Oklahoma Aeronautics Commission request for project. I'd like to pull this at that time per authority. And then number 24, appointment of one alternate trustee of City of El Reno, to serve Board of Trustees of Oklahoma Environmental Management Authority for a 3-year term commencing on July 1st, 2019. JT and I serve on that. We like doing it. We'd like to continue. So I'd like to nominate me as the primary and JT as the alternate.
I'll make that motion.
I got a motion. Do I have a second?
Second?
I got a motion and a second. Roll call, let's start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson, Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster, Mayor White.
Yes. All right, Marcia, financial reports, sales tax holding steady, we're doing good, we're getting through the budget process. I think Mr. Frazier, when it gets to his turn, he'll want to talk to you a little bit about his budget, what he has proposed coming out for you. We'll move on to Bob, you got anything?
Right now, everything's going good.
Okay, Tracy?
You know, I noticed over there on Elm and that little street where they dug out that big creek because it was flooding all the time. worked well.
Mhm.
It still had some backwash and over onto the road and stuff, and it looks like going around the corner, could be some further, future issues, but that right there has taken care of a huge problem.
Well,
Looks good.
and let me add on to that, make sure that you know, we are going to continue with the emergency that you're going to allow. That will help from sunset on around. And we're going to try to get a plan together, that Mr. Fox, we've all met with him, we're going to try to get that. And then we're also currently drawing up plans now from London Street to Sunset on the same deal in order to do that. We have received funding from the CBGB grant. I applied for another one of those. We got that all funded and everything else. Matter of fact, Matt, I think we've done so good a job. We got how much money?
$105,000.
That's really about $60,000 more we normally get. So we're gonna have that project where we can cover that cost, and then we'll probably use some of your emergency funds on that. In saying that also, just to make sure you understand, well, there's $346,000, I think, something like that, roughly, Marcia, the state of Oklahoma is held hostage from the city of Reno since when is it, Kent? 15, 16. We received all the FEMA money on all the stuff that we've got, and we hadn't done that. I contacted our Senator Paxton. We worked through the process. I was contacted by, all of a sudden, an hour and 15 minutes later, I was contacted by the head of the emergency management system for the state of Oklahoma, and we're going to get our money back this year all of a sudden. So, because I just did not understand how come we're getting all this money, trying to figure out where we're going to spend this extra money when they haven't paid us since 2015. I want to utilize some of that $300,000 that we've discussed for drainage, particularly in that area and the Legion Park area and Evans Road, and some other things that we've talked about over the years that are already currently in the home. Is that right, Jeff? What else, Tracy?
That's it.
Okay.
And we're fixing to start Foreman Road, right?
I'm just going to show you, I got it on my list.
Yep.
We're finally starting the road work, Jeff. We're excited about that. We got lots of potholes because of rain all over town. We know we're to be patient with us. A couple things I do want to work on. I've mentioned Mr. Frazier, and I want to make sure. I've had a lot of complaints on the soccer fields. The soccer fields look terrible. I mean, they look god awful. We got to get on top of that. We got to get more trash cans out there, and we got to get more trash cans out at Legion Park and the lake. I think you're all aware of that. I think they're on the way. But we've got to have more trash cans out there. There's people more use them more, and they're getting filled up. We either got to get more or get them picked up quicker on that one. So if we can do that, I think, Jeff, you're working on potholes. Potholes are terrible all over town. We're patching those. And then we are, like Councilman Ballhorn stated, we are working on the roads. They started the sub-base modification on Britain. Is that correct, Jeff?
Yep,
Yes.
that's where they've started on, they've moved to form with that part, and the asphalt crew should be here either this week for Britain Road or the first next week.
So they're gonna they'll do Britain Road, they'll lay it, or they got it modified. They'll start laying it next week, and then they'll switch over. And we were kind of waiting on school to get out on some of this, some of these areas is what we were kind of waiting on. We're trying to beat the wheat harvest to get some of this done. I don't know if we're gonna be able to get it done. I will tell you, we'll get it done. You guys are gonna get some complaints about not getting done. We got a lot of these streets we never had done before, chip and seal. The county is absolutely helping us, but they've had a lot of bridges washed out, and they are behind. So this is absolutely gonna set us behind. We did hire a contractor to do our chip and seal, and that will start June the 6th is when that will start. So we're going to try to get that deal going as far as the chip and seal roads, the county roads, and then like Mr. Cobra said, they're going to do Britain, then Foreman, then Shepherd. They'll move over to Choctaw, all the way to Jensen. They'll do some stuff on Jensen they're going to replace. Then they'll do 27th Street at that point in time, and then they'll start doing the overlays inside. So this is going to take probably a 3-month. It's going to be like a 3-month project for them to come in and do all this move in, move out, both with the asphalt company and the chip and steel company to come in and do all this. So it's going to take some time, but we are starting. So if we can get those potholes, and you're starting that, you said tomorrow, and I know we got some potholes on Ash we need to fix, and Hawk, but I want to get those all done. So other than that, doing a great job. Burger Day was wonderful. Hats off to Main Street. They did a great job. I think it was one of those things that it's probably one of the best burger days we had. It has to be because of the weather, because everybody was wanting to get out of the house. Friday night it had a great band and nobody showed up. Tracy and Timmy and I were about the only ones down there. We enjoyed the band. I mean, it was great.
Awesome, yeah.
But it was a good band. But the City of El Reno, you guys did a great job as usual. Thank you all. Kent, for you and your team for doing the burgers. Jeff, for you guys working all the overtime. Downtown looked phenomenal, looked all cleaned up, looked great, spiffed up, ready to go. On to the next deal, which is small town weekend, and then after that, we gotta go out to the lake.
Now, I do have two other things.
You already had
Again,
your time.
Thank you, and I don't take
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, it was the best, and the reports are coming in, the best burger day ever. Vendors were selling out, food vendors, everybody, they've never had such a phenomenal day. So it's hopefully gonna grow even bigger next year. It was a great burger day, even with all the rain on Friday.
Yeah.
The second thing is, I noticed, and I don't know if this is street department, I know everybody's tapped out, but with more activity, with it beginning to get warmer, I drive out there a lot, and more and more trash is happening. So I didn't know how often that you guys troll the lake to trash people and all that, but it gets really bad. And
Well, one more thing, we are addressing that, but let me go further that. Jeff, I think Jim, the old mechanic who's now a fabricator, is helping a bunch. As soon as he gets done with getting the stuff down at the cemetery, trying to get that fence ready for Memorial Day, you have him kind of making the trash cans. What's happened, a lot of these trash cans are blowing over the plastic.
sometimes that happens, but sometimes it's not. And I'm out there about every night, and many times, sometimes I'll pick it up myself, but sometimes there's a lot. People are out there at night, and then by the late night, it's trashy. And because not everybody picks up after themselves. So even if it's every morning, somebody goes out,
To do what, pick it up?
Pick it up.
Well, we need to have people picking up their own trash.
Well, we know that, but.
But I guess what I'm trying to say,
sometimes-
what the problem is there's, and I've discussed this with you all today and then today. There's two trash cans out there for the circle. Well, you got a pavilion and one party
Feels
They're filled,
takes it
right.
up. So we gotta get more trash cans out there and or pick them up more often or what it is. And you are working on that, is that right, Matt? That's right. Frazier, because that has been addressed and we are working on it. We have to get more trash cans out there. There's not enough trash cans out at Legion or at the lake. And then the other thing is, Jeff, your guys are absolutely going out and way down the middle lake and pulling because of Oklahoma wind trash cans out of the lake. So Jeff is working on some device, basically that's gonna help hold the trash can. Is that correct? Jim is working on that now? And we hope that on those open areas that we have along the peninsula areas, that you don't have where the curb is on a circle, because that go against the curb okay. It's the open areas out there, we're gonna put these devices up that will hold the trash cans in. So we're gonna try to get more of those. Okay.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd just like to see if we could send a letter to the man camp people and remind them that they're supposed to have trees out front of that place and stuff that are all dead and nasty looking.
Can, absolutely. That's part of their deal, and they have a sprinkler system out there, don't they, Matt?
No, they don't.
They're supposed to.
They're required to keep them alive.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
And sure starting to look pretty rough.
We can do that. Good point. All right, what else? Y'all don't have anything to say, so I'll get it. Hey. All right, we'll get on the soccer fields on with Jeff.
Yep.
All right, Mr. Manager.
Well, I'd just like to thank all of the staff members who are wearing multiple hats. In fact, I don't think there's a staff member here or at the city who does just one thing. Fire has been extremely helpful with the hospital, with everything else that we ask them to do. Police is helping with events. Public Works is everywhere. And the city clerk, finance, we've really been working hard to kind of address all the needs that are out there. In addition to asking for information, or in addition to the fact that I have been asking for information regarding the budget, to get that document compiled, we finally have it put together, or at least a proposed document that we're going to discuss at our next special meeting on the 30th of May. And so I just want to take my hat off and show my appreciation to the staff that have done all the hard work that makes us all look good in the end. So, thank you.
Anything else? All right, we're going to executive session. 26, consider and convene an executive session pursuant to Oklahoma State Statute Title 25, Section 307B4, discuss tort claim against City of El Reno receiving from the Church of Christ 206252-BD, and reconvene in the open session for formal action of said claim. Make a motion to go to executive session.
Second?
I get a motion and a second. Roll call, start with Ryder.
Yes.
Councilman Robinson, Councilman Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster, Mayor White.
Yes. Okay, y'all get out of here. I haven't done any motion to come back into executive session.
Make a motion?
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Roll call, start with Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster, Councilman Robinson, Councilman Ryder, Mayor White.
Yes. All right, on the action of the claim with the Church of Christ 6252-B.
Make a motion, we deny?
Our motion to deny.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Roll call start with Ballhorn.
Yep.
Vice Mayor Cronster, Councilman Robinson, Councilman Ryder,
Yes.
Mayor White.
Yes. Motion for adjournment.
So moved.
I got a motion by Ballhorn.
Second.
Second by Ryder. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.